So I wanted to make this video to show you how we can access our data and reports and how we can take that data and turn it into groupings. So when you first land in your Your Friend and Learning, you always go to your dashboard first. It's going to help you see what assignments you have due, what assignments need grading, or if you have any assignments that have not been completed yet. So to get to our data and report sections, we're going to go click on My Class. When you click on My Class, you'll be able to see what assignments you've given out, who started it, if they're ready for a grade, if it's completed. So this just shows me the assignments, but I really want to find out the data from the assignments. So I would click on the left where it says Data and Reports. On data and reports, now I get an idea of the assessments the students have taken from 2017 to 2023. I can change that, but that's how long I've been working with this account. So you get a quick summary right here to see where your students are. And they also show your assessed score within that time frame also. But what you are mostly going to be interested in is the individualized reports for your students. I'm going to go to the next one here. So here I have a check for understanding, explore relationships. I can click where it says see report. Now it's going to show me a report of just the check for understanding. And I get to see my students, how much time they spent on the problem here and what their average score was over here. And it shows me what item. I can actually see the item. If I want to see the question again, I would click on show the item. So I'm able to revisit that question and see how they did on it. And you can do that for both of those items. Now, this is where the magic comes in, where if I didn't have time to group my students, I could click in this top right-hand corner and just click on recommend groups. And the system will basically look at what data I already have, and it will put them into 3 different groups for me automatically. I can name the groups different things. I can say these are the dolphins, or I can just say, this is my yellow group or my red group, however you want to do it. You can give them different names, or you can just say group 1, group 2, group 3 to keep it simple. And then if you feel that some students shouldn't be in a group, you can just easily move their names over to the group that you want them to be in. So I had a lot of students make 100 on this check for understanding. So I might not even have a red group because it looks like only one person made a 75. So I could rearrange this too to fit my needs. So once I do that, once I have my groups, that's when I can start assigning them different things. So I've made my groups based off that assessment. I'm going to say save and done. Okay. It's saved. Okay, so Olivia, what do I do with my groups now? Where do I go? Well, there are a couple places you can go. So under the Create tab is where you're going to house your plan or resources you've already put in a folder. So once I have those resources in a folder, I can go to that folder. Maybe that folder is Math Center Module 6, or maybe it's my differentiated instruction folder for Module 7, or I can have it per lesson. Whatever is easier for you to use it. So I'm just going to click on Math Center Module 6. I have some resources that I've saved already to this folder. So the students just took the check for understanding, and a lot of them did well. So I can either assign them an interactive lesson. I have a tier 2 skill. I have interactive challenge. Well, definitely my yellow group, a lot of them made 100%. So I'm thinking I'm going to do an interactive challenge with them. So I'm going to click on the assign button to the right. When I click on the assign button, it allows me to put a start and an end date. It even allows me to put directions. And then it says, do I want to view by my class or by groups? So I'm going to view by groups. And then I'm going to go and find my red, yellow, and green group, which I just made off the check for understanding. So I'm going to assign the yellow group the interactive challenge. And then I have now assigned that to them to do. The ones in my purple group, a lot of them have very low scores. I'm going to give them an interactive tier 2 skill where they can kind of learn the math again. And so I'm going to go to assign. And again, I'm going to go back to my groups. And I'm going to go down. And then I'm going to give that to my red group to work on. While the ones in the middle, I may decide just to do a small group within the Zoom session or within my classroom and just work with those students to make sure they're on track for success. Or I could decide to do a small group with my tier 2 skill. Even though I assigned it to them, I could still work with them as they worked it out. So this is how we can go to, again, we're going to go to my class. We're going to go to data and reports. And based off the are you ready? If you gave a are you ready, you could assign groups just like that from that task by clicking on see the report. Because once you see the report, it will recommend groups. I like starting with the recommended groups because it does a little algorithm or it tries to make it even. But then I go in as a teacher and I move it around based on the spark your learning observations I've made, the build your understanding observations, or maybe there was just a question in the wording. So do what you do best. And then once you click on recommended groups, once you have your groups, now it's just a matter of you assigning them resources by clicking on the Create tab and finding the plan that you created. Now, if you want to create a new plan, once you click on Create, you just say Create a plan. You give your plan a title. Maybe this is module 1 and you might want to say what the title is, and maybe you might even want to say lesson 1. You might want to be that specific so you know that the resources that you wanted to use for lesson 1 are there. You just say save and continue. Now you can look for resources from this tab. I'll go click on discover. Okay, there was a little issue with that link, but I'm going to click on discover here at the top. And now I will go to module 1 and I'll go to lesson 1 and I want to see what resources I want to use in here. So for today's class, I'm definitely interested in an interactive reteach. And I want to make sure, yeah, I'm just in lesson 1 only. So they have learn the math, do the math. So this is 2 components of the interactive reteach. So I'm going to add it to my plan. You just click on add to plan, and I just made a module 1, lesson 1, and I can add that to my plan. I'm going to add this second one to my plan, module 1, lesson 1. And let's see, I definitely want an interactive challenge because I have a couple students who are just really on point and I want to make sure I meet their needs in class. Okay, what other resources do I have here? I got a small group mini lesson. This is basically going to bring up a PDF. It's going to actually bring up the flip kind of chart that you would use. So you could have it as a resource. If you do go in a breakout room, you can easily pull it up, share your screen, or you see it and you're able to read and explain to your students. We're going to go back. We have the problem of the day. You might want to have that already in your plan. So everything you're doing is going to be coming from this folder. You don't have to go look for it anywhere. And then we go to practice. They have more practice here. I might want to add that to my plan too. So again, once I have it in my plan, it makes it so easy to assign it. All I have to do now is go click on create, go find my plan. I've already made my groups. Now I can assign as I need to. I hope this tutorial has been helpful in understanding that agenda.